Hey guys, it has been a wild year since we started this channel. This video is about making a Amazon chicken run Raken house for rabbits and chickens / turkeys. And this is what we started with, just an Amazon chicken run. Okay, so this is kind of what we're starting with. I chose this location because it's right past the garden and it's near the compost pile. There's no branches directly above it, but it'll get some shade in the summertime. This is one of those Amazon chicken runs. This is a 10 by 20, roughly, that my husband got me for my birthday. And so I'm just putting it together based on the instructions. So I've got the frame up, I've got the wire across most of the bottom, just have to do the front and the door, and then I'll put it over the roof, the back triangle, front triangle. You'll see the little door is one of those that's got like the top hatch and the bottom hatch. So I'm doing a bunch of modifications to this just because it's not going to be like sturdy as is. So I'm going to come back, put some rebar stakes in each of the posts. I need to put something under this post and something under that one to get them out of those little holes. And then we'll put no dig fence wires, stake things all around the whole bottom. And then I'll also put some treated lumber, like 2x6s around the entire bottom to also kind of weigh it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna cover the whole thing in a tarp, and then we're gonna do our best to hang rabbit cages down this whole entire side right on the inside. And then we'll put their water hose system and all that on the back, and then the rest will be chickens and turkeys will hang an egg box somewhere in there. So anyways, this isn't really a how-to as much as it is just like a vlog of how I'm doing it, because I haven't actually seen anybody do the Amazon tractor in like a Raken chicken coop / rabbit house style. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works out. Okay, so now I have finished putting all the wire on. It's a couple days later, to be honest. It took me a while. We have everything we need, really. Just don't have the time. Well, I have time, but I have little kiddos, so I can't do too much unless they're asleep. But anyways, I need to come through and put more zip ties on here, especially the seams. Even back there, a lot of the seams spread out a little bit as I put the wire on, so I'm gonna come back through with those. And then I'm also, don't mind, I'll pick all this up anyways. You can see it came with these like tiny little stake things, so I did buy, actually looking at that hole, these might be too big, but I did get these rebar stakes from Amazon, 12-inch. You can see they have like a hook J kind of shape. I'm gonna use these. Let me see if it'll fit. Yeah, it'll fit. I'm gonna kind of put these in here, hammer them in on each of these legs where there's like a place to do this, and I'm gonna do that. I think I got a 12-pack. Most of them I'm just gonna put one, but like here and maybe the back I'll probably put two. This one I'm not gonna hammer all the way in because I want this space to stay, because we've already hung the wire, so I don't want to change the shape of the frame at all. But I'm gonna put these in and then come back and put this grit there. I'm not super worried about the bottom being predator proof right now, because after I put those stakes in, we're gonna take this. You can't really see what it is because it's in the box, but this is dig defense. It's made for like dogs, and I think it's 12 inches deep, maybe 16. Anyways, this is 72 foot worth, so it should go all the way around this. I'm gonna do it on the outside of the entire thing. We don't really have a good space. We didn't want to dig all the way around this whole thing, so it just made more sense to get this. I'll link everything in the description. It was more expensive to do this than just like wire all the way around, but hardware cloth going all the way around still would have been pretty close to the same price. So anyways, I might try to get some video of me staking these in, but if not, just visualize me using a hammer to stake all these little pads in. You saw the stakes it came with. They're obviously really, really tiny, and I tried to put them in here just to see how they would do, and you can see they even just, that one even bent. And That's the only complaint I have with this Amazon coupe, is just that some of the hardware and little things like that it comes with are really not good. Like you can even see the zip ties are more like the indoor zip ties. I don't know if they're gonna hold up to the sun, so we put some outdoor ones on. And then over there on that wall, I'll be hanging all the rabbit cages. And so on that wall, I'll go back, when I hang the rabbit cage to the pole over there, I'll be using stainless steel cable ties, because the rabbits can obviously chew through the plastic. And we'll be covering that chicken wire over there too, because they can chew through that as well. So now I will be staking these, putting the stuff around, and then I may show you, I'll put the tarp on the top eventually. I'm not sure if I'll do that before the rabbit cages or after, but here we go. But it lays it down on the ground. I mean, you really, you can't pull that up. So these look looser, but I just have them up higher because I'm about to put some rock under here after I put the no dig stuff. But there's very little, if any, movement at all. So I feel much better about this. We are also later gonna put, I have some wood up there that I'm gonna put around the bottom after we do the predator, whatever. But I would like to paint it first, probably, to give it the extra layer of protection from water. But I feel really pleased. Just definitely, if you're gonna do this, any of these Amazon coupes, even if it's just for chickens or whatever, I definitely would recommend going ahead and getting the Amazon rebar stakes, the 12-inch, because man, they did so much better, and they weren't that expensive either. So it's definitely worth it to just get those, because you're gonna have something that's gonna last a whole lot longer. Okay, so this is the no dig. Let me just set it here so you can see. This definitely is not 12 inches. Maybe I was wrong on that. I don't know. It looks more like it's like 8 inches or something. So I would have preferred it be a little bit longer, but at the same time, I think it should be fine. I'm going to just use a hammer and kind of like go ahead and stake this down the whole way around on the outside. I'll probably leave it slightly, just a little bit up, so that I can kind of secure it to the pole down there. But should go all the way around and have some left over. And then I'll use later when we put the wood around the frame on the whole bottom, I'll be putting it on with I don't know what this stuff is called. It's not clamps, but I'll be using this to kind of secure it on it. What is it called? Hanger strap. Anyways, I'll be using that to kind of secure the pole to the wood. So I'm not too worried about it not being completely secured there, because now that it's staked, it shouldn't move too much. But here we go. We'll do the whole perimeter. It's 60-foot perimeter. I have 72 foot, so hopefully it should cover everything. Okay, so here I've put the first one in. I will say it was harder and took a lot longer to put in than the rebar stakes, because they're not pointy. And also I would avoid hitting the straight part, hit on the little pegs. This little part right here, I wouldn't hit on here. Also, I do want to reiterate that, like, this is not going to be a colony setup for rabbits, so these definitely wouldn't keep rabbits from tunneling out, I don't think. But I do think it will help with predators for sure, because once they hit that, they're not likely to keep digging, if they were to even start in the first place. But it took a good 30 to 45 seconds to really get the whole thing in there, so it's probably going to take me a little bit to do the whole thing. Okay, so it doesn't look pretty, but it'll be covered up once I get the 2x6s on. But first off, I just want to say this stuff's kind of annoying to put in, because as you hit one side, the other one comes up. It'd be easier with two people or with some kind of rod on top to hit down. It pushes more the whole thing. Anyways, so now I'm left with this issue. I really should have done this first before the rebar. So I may try to get this rebar up, and then I may have to pull this back up, and then somehow get the rebar out to go on top of it. But anyways, these things were a little bit annoying. Oh, but probably still worth it. Okay, so now I'm gonna start thinking about the rabbit hutches. Probably gonna do that before I cover it, just because it'll be easier to fasten everything everywhere. So I don't know if you see, but this is 1/2-inch conduit, EMT or whatever. I have two 10-foot poles. They were like $6 total or something like that. And I'm gonna suspend those with chains. I probably should have done like cable and made like little lanyards, but For now, chains will be a little more adjustable since I'm not exactly sure how high off the ground I'm gonna make them yet, or how high from the roof they're gonna be. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and suspend those, and then I'll probably put together the cages up there, since I'll have to have electricity to run the grinder, and then I will bring them down here probably in the 10-foot sections. So really, I'm gonna start by making one 10-foot section today. Well, hopefully today, we'll see. Because that would be 2 buck cages and 2 doe cages. And I'm just gonna make it one long one, and I'll just put make like little dividers in there. Ooh, it's really windy and cold out here. It's 38 degrees right now, or 40 degrees right now. And then at least then that'll be enough for a trio. Really it'd be enough for 4, so I might get 2 bucks, I don't know, we'll see, but at least it'd be enough for a trio. And then I'll make another 10-foot section that will be 4 30-inch grow out cages. That way we can even separate litters and have plenty of room for grow outs. But anyways, so I'll probably start by just putting, once I make the first 10-foot section, I'll probably put it on this front wall. I may actually slide it kind of into the middle to give it a windbreak. There will be a tarp up here, and then I'll also be putting the tarp that came with it, I'll probably put on the back. And then I also need to, God, it's cold. This side will be empty, so this is, I'll probably hang an egg box right there, but that'll have to come later once we get some wood on here. God, it's cold. This is the one I bought. Not sure where the one that came, I think it's up there. But anyways, those are things that came to secure it. Oh my gosh, it's cold. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll probably, gosh, it's cold. I'll probably cut all my wire, and I may even work on the cages inside, or at least in the carport. Or I could even do it in the building. Well, there's some turkeys in there, but. So for hanging the other cages, one second, baby. I'm just gonna be putting, this is a 1-inch EMT hanger. I'm gonna put it on the top pole like this. But first we're taking these little hooks. We're gonna put them in here like this, these little eye hooks. We're gonna kind of put them in there like that, so that we can hook the chain to it with S hooks. These are gonna go on top, and then we have half-inch ones.
2 hooks.
And then we're gonna use 1/2 inch to hang on to that conduit that we got. So you can see we just put them in there. We're not gonna screw them in too tight yet, because obviously we don't want to get into the circle part. These are gonna go on those things, and then we'll tighten this so that it doesn't move around on the pipe, because we don't want it sliding around. And it'll kind of just like clamp on. We did this instead of like zip tie or anything like that, because that's gonna slide, but hopefully this should be able to clamp on pretty tight so that it doesn't move around. And then we'll tighten the eye hook so that it touches the pole as well, and so that won't be quite as wiggly. Okay, so this is kind of how I'm doing the cage. You can see I've got the first one laid out. That's the 1.5 by 1 down there, 10-foot section. I'm gonna lay this one next to it and go ahead and hook everything up. This will be the front side. This is 1 by 2. That'll be the bottom of the cage, and then on the back it'll just be a 12-inch section. So I'll have to cut this before sorry, not this one. I'll either be cutting some of that, or possibly, because this is supposed to be 25 feet. Yeah, this is 25 feet. So I'll cut some of this to do the back side, but it'll just be 12 inches tall, because it's going down there on that little, the drop down part of that. And then the front side will be a whole 2 feet. So, but it goes up pretty quickly. But this is going to be 30 inches deep, and we're still going to be doing standard length, 24 inches for buck cages and 36 inches for does. That way, that backside only being 12 inches tall, they'll still have plenty of ear room through the rest of the cage. Hopefully it won't cut down on how much they're able to move around. But anyways, I'll lay this out and then try to get a little video of that as I put the J-clips on. Alright, so this one is connected. This will be our front wall. This one, and by the way, this is 10. So this is 10, and then that is going to be the floor. It's 30 inches by 10 feet. And then I'm a little short on the sides on this last piece. I don't know how I did that, but I'm short on both sides. So I'm either gonna have to, it's okay, I'm either gonna have to patch it or use, well, we'll see. I'll probably just put like a little piece at the edges and patch it. But so this one is not connected yet. I'm about to use our J-clips to connect that one. It only takes a few minutes. My husband did grind down some of these edges. This one is going to be the back wall, so I probably won't grind down. But I will have to make sure this is behind this piece, because when I stand it up, for this to fold, it has to be, those little tines have to be underneath this floor piece, if that makes sense. So now I'm just going to go through and connect this one, and then maybe I'll slide it down so that I only have to patch one side. Then I'll probably cut a little tiny 2 or 3 inch piece to patch this side so it's even here, and that should still work fine. And then we'll cut roof pieces. I wasn't gonna do that, but I think I want to make this like a standalone cage and then just hang it. That way I can slide it down instead of having to connect it to the chicken wire. And also I'm pretty sure the rabbits are gonna just be able to chew through that chicken wire, so I think it'll be better to go ahead and just put a roof. But I'll have to use this and then cut it in vertical strips instead of laying the whole thing, because it's not going to be 30 inches. It's going to be a little more than 30 inches on top, because it's not even, because the back will be 12 inches high, the front will be 2 feet high, so that like 1 foot incline is going to have to stretch that 30 inches. It won't actually be 30 inches, it'll probably be closer to 34 or so. So anyways, and then we'll work on our sides, which we'll make out of the 1x2 to go on the ends, because we'll put buck cages on the ends, and then the inside dividers for the 2 doe cages will be the 1x2. I meant 1x1.5, so that I don't have to put baby saver on the inside. I may go ahead and put a little strip of baby saver of the 1x1.5 on the back of the 2 middle doe cages on this 1x2. Because that'll be a little more difficult to do later once it's up. But anyways, the front I'll probably just do later on this front piece after we cut the doors and do all that stuff. So anyways, pretty exciting. Can't wait to see the finished product. Hopefully we'll finish it today, because we get our rabbits on Monday. We're hoping to get 2 bucks and 2 does to kind of get us started off on the best foot possible. New Zealand. Okay, so I've moved it down here. It looks complicated, but it's not. So this is a 1x2 piece that I cut for the side. It's 12 inches high on that side, 24 on this one. So it'll go with the slope of this part, the roof part, whatever. These are going to be the dividers. These are 1 inch by 1/2 inch. They're the exact same size and shape, but they're going to go in between the cages. But the bucks are going to be on the 2 ends. Or the 2 bucks we're getting will be on the 2 ends, so that can just be 1x2. I didn't want to put, it would have been easier to put 1 inch by 1/2 inch on the edges, because they're 30 inches deep, so it's easier to cut them. But I just don't want to limit airflow, and I also don't want to limit the ability of the cages to like let go of all that hair. I don't want to collect too much. So the ends, it'd be nice if they're more open. So anyways, I'm just putting our J-clips on the 1x2. I'm doing every other one. 1 second, baby. And then we'll do the dividers once the sides are on, and then we'll just, the top, okay, baby. The top is a little longer than 30 inches. It's actually going to be, because of the slope, it actually would be like 31 to 31.5. But I might try to see if the 30 inch will go on top, and then we'll just kind of pull it together, bend the top a little bit together.
We'll like,
Hadassah. Because we'll end up wasting a lot of wire if I cut the 30 rolls into sections versus just using a roll, putting it on top, J-clipping it on. So anyways,
help us.
Anyways, we're almost done here, putting all these on, and then
we need help doing this.
Then we'll be putting the top on, and then we'll be ready to hang it from the top and see kind of how it fits. I did test to see if that follows the slope, and it does really well. So I'm really excited to get these together. And once they're hanging up, then we can start working on actually making them into enclosures, like putting our doors on and our feeders on and all of that. And we have a lot of extra wire that we're going to use to make little hay feeders and stuff. So we're super excited, as you can tell.
Yeah. And also,
okay, so it's really starting to come together. We've got our sides all connected, literally just using J-clips on every 2-inch, I guess, thing. We've got dividers in, so that's first butt cage, doe cage, butt cage. Somehow we're actually 4 inches longer than we should be, so one of these doe cages is accidentally 40 inches because I measured 36 from that one, and then I was like, oh, that's 40 inches. So my assumption would be that the floor wire, the 1 by 1/2 inch, actually is 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches longer, just to compensate for the rolled edges. And I didn't even measure the whole roll to see how long it was, and that's probably why we had to patch on this here, because I actually did measure this as 10 feet. So when we make our grow out cages, I'll probably just have to make them an inch smaller a piece, because there were going to be 4 36-inch cages. So it looks like what we're going to have to do is, or 30 something inch, anyways, they're going to have to be like an inch smaller a piece, which shouldn't be a big deal. But anyways, in order for them to both fit here. But now we're going to put the top on and then hopefully hang it up. Ooh, all right, before we put the top on, something I actually forgot that I told myself I definitely was going to do was I'm going to actually put baby saver on these 2 middle doe cages, just on the back side, because yeah, because once we put it up, it's going to be really hard. Not really hard, but I just don't want to have to go back later and put the baby saver on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and that way all we have to do later is put baby saver on the front.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it is with just the 1 by 1.5 wire on top of these 2 doe cages, and then you can see the 2 butt cages don't have it. So anyways, that still gives us, so that's 4 inches. That still gives us 4 inches here for the water nipples to go, and then the top 4 inches I'll probably have covered, but we'll see. I could put it down here, but I'd rather not. I'd rather put it in one of these. Let's put the top on. All right, so this is it together. The only problem is, like we were saying earlier, this is like 1.5 inches short on the back. So I will probably come back with like a little piece, just like a tiny, 1 inch, 1.5 inch strip to go down there, because we do have a lot of extra. And so now we're just trying to figure out how high these need to be, and then we will make, like, we may not even have to make a hole. Well, yeah, we'll have to cut like 1 wire to slide that up through. These are just 1/2 inch EMT clips on this 1/2 inch conduit. I probably should have done like a little bit smaller, but I didn't really know the sizes of stuff. And then this is 1 inch, but these probably need to be 3/4 inch, because you can see they're not tight. But then again, it's not that big of a deal. We're gonna see how they hold up and then decide later. This is gonna need some support too, because it's gonna be a lot of weight hanging on there. Hold on, baby. And then I'm gonna try to find a connector. Just connect these two so it's as strong as possible. But for now, we're just hanging the one, so it's not that huge of a deal. But we just need to get all these very level, and then we're just gonna kind of butt it up to these poles. And then we'll come back with the stainless steel cable ties and zip tie everything to here, the back. We'll zip tie everything together. We may also go back by with some of the J-clips to kind of do stuff too. Okay, so for the back part, that back corner that's missing some space, I cut 2 inches all the way 10 foot of this. Now I'm gonna just put this halfway, this one board, this 2x6, so that I can use the other one to kind of bend the corner a little bit. And then it'll cover like the back 2 inches of the back wall, and then we'll bridge that gap, that 1.5 to 2 inch gap. So now I'm just gonna kind of use this board to sandwich it a little bit, and I don't need it at a 90-degree angle. I just need it like 45. So I'm just gonna kind of pinch it a little bit to bend it up a little bit without hurting my hands too much. Oops. Anyways, I really need both hands for this, so I'll show you when it's done. Alright, so it's ready to be hung up. Just want to show you how we put that piece on. You can see, so here's 1/2. It was just 2 sections. There's the other one, hooked it with J-clips here, every other one, and then the middle one we would hook here on the corner, and then hooked it here. It seems really sturdy. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have to run the chain. Woo, ouch. There's one chain there and one here. Gonna have to run this one will go on the outside, and then this one we'll have to find the best place. I want it to be as close to the edge as possible, so it's not just in the middle of the rabbit's cage, because I don't want them to get hurt on there. This should be pretty close to the edge, and I also don't want it to obstruct the feeder. And this will be a doe cage, so I just want to be sensitive to all that. So I'll just run this through, and then I'll have to find the best way to do this. I'll figure it out, and then I'll show you. I wish I could show you as I'm doing it, but I don't have a good way to set my phone up out here. But anyways, I think it's looking pretty good. Need to get it up because we get the rabbits today, and I need to go ahead and cut the doors and stuff in it. So let's see. All right, so me and Abby got it hanging up. We are gonna go ahead and cut the doors here in a minute so that we can reach in there and get the chains situated exactly where they need to be. But now you can see we've got plenty of space underneath for chickens or turkeys or whatever's in here to scratch. We use the steel cable ties on the back. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there's one. To hold it to the pole. And then we've got the conduit here. This needs to be adjusted. Probably move it back more into the cage. It's not ideal. I didn't want the chain just square in the middle of the cage, but that might be just what we have to do. So I might have to move this clip back and move these back so it's more supportive. But there's a little give. But once we get the chain set, we're gonna actually use the the steel cable ties to connect the cage to the pole there too. So, and then we'll be ready to put our doors and everything on, and then later today I will come back and put the tarp over the top of the whole thing, the whole entire run, and then also set up the watering system on the back side. Got some trash in there. All right, so now we're still working on that last door, and while I do that, Abby is coming through and putting the guard on these. I don't know how long it'll last because it will be inside the cage so they might just eat it off. I don't know, we'll find out, but at least it's there for now, for today. If I have to, I can bring the grinder down here and grind them all down, but at least they're there for now. So then now that we have those on, we will try to get the feeders cut and set in here. The only thing I'm worried about is these not having enough room here, but I could put the feeder here on the side if I need to. I actually could have put the door higher, but it's not a big deal. Maybe room here, we'll find out. Okay, so we didn't do a video doing it, and I'm not super happy with how close I had to cut to the doorway, but we just kind of held it up there and cut out how much space we would need for these feeders. We've got big ones on the doe cages and then small ones on the butt cages. I need to go find one more for this butt cage to go over here. And then we've got little plastic rest mats for now. In the summer we'll probably do ceramic, but just somewhere for the rabbits to lay down where they don't have to be on the wire constantly, but they still will drain, so it won't get too yucky in here. But now I just have to cut the wire to put on the front, and then later on today I'll probably try to put the tarp over the top of everything and then work on the watering system. All right, so for the doors, I have just cut 13 by 13 inch of the 1 by 1.5. I would have used the 1 by 2, but this is just what I have most of. So here I put one on. I wanted to do the inside, but because of the chain, it'll be easier for me just to do them on the outside. I've just used J-clips to hinge, and then I'll go get some little clips and I'll just clip it here. But I think they'll be good. So I just need to put the other 3 on, and then I'll look at covering it with the tarp, the whole thing, and then we can work on the watering system later, if not tomorrow. All right, so here it is with the tarp. I just used the little band things that the kit came with, but obviously I used a 20 by 12 tarp instead of the one it comes with. So the back over there, we're gonna have the roost for the chickens, and then over here the egg box. So there should be plenty of ventilation still at the top, plenty of ventilation underneath. You can see the majority of the back of the cages is actually open to the wind, but there should be enough cover from rain on that side. So I do need to go back through, put some zip ties in many different places. I need to zip tie down more places on the tarp. I need to repair the door, and then we're gonna start working on stuff for the actual chickens and turkeys that'll go in here. We need to work on the framing and stuff. And also I gotta find one more feeder and then also set up some kind of latches on these. But once we do that, they will be ready. Oh, and I gotta do the watering system, but that should just take a few minutes, and that'll be here on this backside. So pretty excited. I love how it looks. All right, so we're working on the rabbit. Oh, by the way, we have the rabbits. Now we're working on their watering system. I got this off Amazon, super cheap. Came with 10 of the little cage nipples for the water. So I used a 1 1/8 bit thing to like make the hole in here. I did put you can see I put like plumber's tape or whatever around the little thing. It has 2 rubber washers. Make sure you got the outside one. And then I've put the same thing on this little whatever this is. And so anyways, I'm gonna put this in here and then show you the rest of the system as we go. All right, so I haven't been doing as many videos because I'm just quickly trying to finish up. You see we've got our rabbits. I'll introduce them in a second. Our turkeys are already in here scratching around. You can see we got all the feeders on. I think I showed that already. Got these little wrist mats. Hey cutie. Got these little wrist mats from Amazon. Gonna try those out. It's also helping me just remember who's a boy and who's a girl. So here's a watering system. It was incredibly simple. Got it from Amazon. It was probably 20 bucks for the whole thing. You just take that little spring, hook it on, and then you just hook that on there. And then obviously you can see this tubing goes on here. I did the blue one. There's clear ones, but I did the blue because I've heard people say the clear ones get some algae in there. So anyways, it was really quick and easy to hook the whole thing up. You just like cut the tubing, and this is like a little T that it came with a bunch of them. I need to kind of like zip tie or something a little bit to hold up some of the saggy parts. So cute. And then this is kind of like a makeshift stand to keep our water up high. I had originally wanted to have like a rainwater catchment kind of system with a gutter from the roof, but there's just not a good way I can do that because the rabbits are up so high. They're right next to the thing anyways. So anyways, we'll see. We'll work on it later. For the chickens and turkeys, I'll probably set something else up that catches rainwater. Anyways, that's kind of the setup for now. Probably change it later. Now I'm going to go around and put these boards around, and then I'll probably come out another day and actually fix the poles to the boards. For now, I think I'm just going to get the boards framed around it for the extra layer of predator protection. Alright, it's the turkey's first morning in here. It was really cold last night, so I put this lamp down here, but they did pretty good. So the only issue I've run into with the wood around it is because of the little no-dig stuff around, it can't be flush against, so there is a little gap on the 2 long sides, but that will be fine because I'm probably gonna put a 2x4 or something like that in there anyways, because eventually up here I'll have board, at least on this side, because I'm gonna have to hang the egg box, so it's not a hugely big deal. And then once I hang the egg boxes, I think I'll be doing that on this side at least. I could also do it on the back, but that peach tree, as it grows, it's gonna be a little difficult to get back there, so I thought this might be the easiest spot. So anyways, if I do that, then I'll probably cover this section and have like a little door that opens where my girls can come get the eggs out. If I did pretty good last night. All the bunnies are still chilling in their cages. They look good, they look hungry, so me and the girls will come feed them here in a minute. Okay, so I just wanted to do a quick update. I know that I already got some video of the 2x6s, but I wanted to go through and show that I did. We have actually secured the corners. The egg box still needs to be hung. I'm eventually going to put some wood up here, and that might make it into a second video. I don't know if I want to put all that in here, but I might put some like additional upgrades to the Raken house or whatever. I am trying to set up so this is a little corner for the turkeys. They've been sleeping here because it has gotten into the freezing temperatures at night. I'm in South Carolina, so it doesn't get super cold here. But last night was in the 30s. This upcoming week the nights will be in the 20s. So I did put this tarp here for a windbreak. Later today I threw it up because it was really cold this morning. I just came out here, threw it up. I'm gonna put some hay bales here, just kind of stacked up, to break the wind this side. Then this white tarp I'm gonna put along this line. The water has not actually been freezing, so I'm hoping that we can keep, I think it's because it moves pretty freely through the tube because they drink pretty often. But anyways, I'm gonna take this white tarp off, run it along the back, maybe with like some little hooks or some carabiners or something, because I want it to be removable, because otherwise they'll just be peeing all over it. You can see there's already a little bit of urine down there on the wood. But anyways, I'm not sure if I fully showed this last time, but this all came from Amazon. This was like 1 1/8 inch bit. We've not had any leaking, and you can really adjust the pressure by taking the lid off more. I just have it a little bit off here on this edge, and then also obviously you can like open it, but I have it all the way open right now, because it does kind of go down a hill and up a hill right there, which I need to secure it better. But anyways, so just to introduce what we got in here right now, these are our 3 turkeys. We've got a tom and 2 hens so far. That's what we think. Could be 2 toms though. They're royal palms. They were a birthday present from my sister. Oh, it's cold. And then our rabbits. This is one of our bucks. Hey cutie, all New Zealand's. This is a doe, you can't see. I'll go inside. We've got another doe here. And then our last buck is here. So I'm just kind of introducing them so you can kind of see how everything ended up. Oh god, it's so cold. Okay, so definitely once you walk in here, it is way less windy in here. Way less windy. I think what I will do is stack some hay bales here, because these grow out cages on this side we probably won't need until next year, because all of these rabbits are only about 10 weeks old, so they still have until March or so before they're probably gonna be bred. So for now, to kind of break this side, I think I'm just gonna stack some hay bales here, maybe just 3 or 4 high. Whew. And then because really that's the only side I can feel wind coming from at all. But once you get over here, you don't feel any, even though you can hear the roof and everything, like I don't feel hardly any cold movement coming from here. But anyways, these are our bunnies. And by the way, based on the research I've done, which is talking to the breeder I got all these from, and then also reading Stories Guide to Raising Meat Rabbits, or Guide to Raising Rabbits, I think it is. Seems like they do perfectly fine in cold weather as long as they have some relief from the wind, and they don't get wet. It's more the summer you have to worry about. But anyways, here's our buck, Moshi. So he is actually the brother to this doe right here. So he will not be bred to her. Although you can, but I guess it's just not recommended. Anyways, her name is Feda, which means silver in Swahili. This is our other buck. He is the brother to that doe. So he'll be bred to Feda. His name is Kutu, which means rest in Kiswahili. Feda. Then we have Theluji, which, by the way, my girls named all of these bunnies. So Theluji means snow. She's not that nice, to be honest with you. This is by far the nicest one. We have snuggled him a lot, and we've only had them for a week, but they have grown significantly in the week we've had them. So his name is Moshi, which means smoke. So anyways, we're really excited. My kids love it. They know that we're going to eat them, or that we're going to eat their babies eventually. They know that, but they're kind of used to all that at this point. But so far the watering system is just, I mean, it's amazing not having to come water them every day. I do, when I come out here to feed them, I do test it. I've been filling up their feed, and this is 2 days later and it's still full. I know we're not going to do that forever. It's just because right now it's really cold and they're really young, so we'll just do it for now. Woo! Also, I'm testing it because we're going to Kenya here in a couple weeks for Christmas, and we'll have people coming by to check on them, but probably not every single day. Anyways, also they've been eating some straw, some leaves and stuff. They seem to really like the oak leaves, so we've been putting a little bit in there. Man, they're cute. Even my husband, who doesn't usually think animals are cute, said that, like, man, I don't usually think things are cute, but these things are pretty cute. These are a little less cute, but that's all right. We still love them. The egg box will eventually be hung up there once I get, I'll put some 2x4s in the corners and then run like another 20 foot of 2x4s on each side. And then maybe also along the back so that we have some wood that we can secure things to. Like eventually I'll need some roosts in here, and then this needs to go up. The turkeys' big trash can for their feed comes today, so we'll set that up. I already have a video on that on the channel, so I probably won't include that here, but I might do a little video of it once everything is up, and then we'll get to working on some roost. Right now they like being right next to there because there's no wind at night in that little corner, and they have their heat lights, so they should be fine. Anyways, so that's it.